Hey everybody, Cowboy here. Just a quick demonstration of how to use the Fibonacci tool. And I do mention at the end of the video how I can also use a fixed range volume profile. If you want to find out more about that, you can go to our YouTube page and look at the entire live broadcast. All of it's in there this morning. You can also go to our website at the bottom of the screen or zap the QR code. In the meantime, enjoy the clip, and after the clip there is more about how to find us and what we do and who we are. And so what we're looking at here today is how to do a Fibonacci retracement and look at the volume nodes. Okay, so this is actually a pretty key, it's a key aspect to my trading, okay? And in trading, what you have are impulses and retracements. So if you look at the price action here, an impulse is going to be a hard move in one direction, and a retracement is going to be kind of a like taking a breath from that move, right? So if I were to illustrate this with these arrows, this would be an impulse. There's some caveats to this, right? There's some nuance, but this essentially is kind of like one big impulse. You could, to really be a purist about it, let's do this right. This is an impulse right here, really, right? So that one move without any real interruption from here to here, that's an impulse. So if I were to move this arrow, you're going from the bottom of this wick to the top of this candle before price does a reversal. So here you are. This is an impulse. A retracement is going to be like, this is like the breathing in, right? That's one way to look at it. And then this might be like the breath out. The breath out is kind of like a contraction, if you will. So that's one way to look at it. So the market moves in fits and spurts, right? So it moves hard in one direction and then it kind of takes a break, right? In this case, for the impulse and the retracement, what we're going to teach is how to measure these and how to kind of predict these, right? One of the tricks about an impulse is you don't know it's over until it's over. Now you can make some guesses as to when it might be over. You might be able to use structure, you might be able to use algorithms, but I think Brad was trying to do an impulse and possible retracement measurement based on this move down. Now I took a short on this yesterday. I got out earlier than I needed to, but I made some pretty good money and price didn't really go much farther than when I got out of the trade. So I did almost like a 2-to-1, which is great. But right now, we're going to assume this is like our impulse, right? We don't know if this really is going to be, this could continue down, right? So this impulse might not be done. But if this impulse were to turn around, if this were a pivot point where you see that Roman numeral 3, right? Which is just an indicator that I've been kind of testing lately. So don't worry about the 3. But this move down is kind of like a hard move down. And then you might get the retracement in this direction, right? So it's like the market kind of expands and then it does a contraction. Once the expansion energy is done, it's going to contract. And generally things move in Fibonacci numbers are kind of what are used. Okay, so Fibonacci is a tool that it uses these proportions that exist in nature. It's like in the joints of your fingers, it's in plants. If you look up Fibonacci, you'll see that it's everywhere in nature. And it just so happens that in trading, these impulses and retracements tend to kind of loosely and sometimes not so loosely obey the Fibonacci numbers, right? So each of these levels you see on the left, with the exception of the 0.5, 0.5 is not a Fibonacci number, okay? But each of these levels on the left are kind of the more relevant Fibonacci numbers. There are others, right? Or I should say Fibonacci proportions. The numbers might be a little bit different, but without getting too deep into what Fibonacci is, the most important one, the most common, the golden ratio they call it in nature, is the 618. So you can see it here on the screen. I just put a box around it to make it a little bit easier to see, but it's that 0.618. That's where price tends to retrace to, okay? Now, I'm not saying price is going to go up and do this right now. Price, like I said, can continue down. And then, of course, if price does continue down, say, let's just pretend the price continued down to here, then we would actually have to move our Fibonacci tool to match that, right? And so what used to be the 618 now no longer is. and never was in the first place. Okay, so without getting too philosophical, we're just going to pretend that right now this is the end of our retracement. Maybe, like I said, there's an algo you have that, a set of indicators that tell you, okay, there's a very high likelihood that this is going to turn right here. As a matter of fact, this Roman numeral 3 is supposed to be that. I'm not sure how effective that really is, but that's what it's supposed to be. It can also go to the 786, the 382, and quite frankly, it can go anywhere in this area. It might not even touch one of these numbers. It might touch all of them. It's not an exact science, because trading simply is not an exact science. So, morning, Brad. We see Brad on the stream here, and this is actually Brad's question that we're answering. Okay. So, if I were to just purely go by the Fibonacci numbers, and if this really was where price turned around, then what we do for our Fib tool is, I will redo this. I'll show you again. On the top left here, there is an icon here, and you use the Fib Retracement Tool. You start at the beginning of the move, you go to the end of the move, and then you click again, and your Fib tool is all lined up. Okay. And then what we can kind of probabilistically assume, provided that price actually turns around here, is that price will probably head to the 618. It's just a decent probability that it will. If you want to know the probability, what you could do is look at the 30-minute for the EUR/USD, go ahead and test that back through history, and you would actually have an idea of how that works. And that's back testing, and that's another subject. Okay, so now another way to increase the probability of your estimation as to where price may go, you can use a fixed range tool. So we are live every weekday, 8:30 AM EST, giving out free content. Come check us out on YouTube. Come talk to us. Go over to the website. That's www.algofactory.tech. Again, www.algofactory.tech. And for a limited time promotional offer, we are giving out memberships at $49.99 a month. There's a ton that we're offering over there. Come see what that's about. Also, you can see our Twitter link. All the links are up on YouTube. Come talk to us on social media. See us on the live YouTube videos. We hope to see you soon.